Welcome to this episode of the ASCOR Explainer video series. My name is Camila Cristancho-Duarte. I am an analyst at the Transition Pathway Initiative Centre at the London School of Economics, and today I'll be presenting our Area CF3 Transparency in Climate Spending. The ASCOR framework is divided in three pillars, as you can see in your screen. The Area CF3 is under Pillar 3 Climate Finance. If you would like to know more about our methodology, please go to the link provided below. The presentation today will be divided in these three sections. So why does ASCOR assess transparency in climate spending? A transparent budget that shows national climate priorities enhances accountability and credibility of climate commitments. Tracking, quantifying, and disclosing climate-related expenditures can help investors and other stakeholders verify whether governments are allocating enough funds to the policies that they committed to. Finally, climate budget tagging has been adopted in many countries as a practice to measure the impact of climate-relevant expenditures. So what is climate budget tagging? According to a 2021 World Bank report, climate budget tagging is a process of identification, measurement, and monitoring of climate-relevant expenditures. There is no commonly agreed methodology of what constitutes climate budget tagging, as each country develops its own methodology according to their own budgetary cycles. What we do know is these three key elements that the different methodologies that we assess for 70 countries differ. First is the definitions. So what constitute a climate-related expenditures? Some countries adopt definitions of mitigation and adaptation. Some others decide to adopt definitions that are policy-based, using as a base the policy or law instruments related with climate change that they have adopted. The third element is the coverage. Some countries include under the climate budget tagging methodology their national and subnational expenditures, some other include them all. Others tend to prioritize some sectors above others in order to disclose the results of applying the methodology. Finally, the quantification. So once they identify which expenditures are climate related and why, they tend to provide or tag these expenditures with categories like 100% related with mitigation, or 80% related with adaptation, or maybe a portion of that expenditure has a significant purpose for mitigation. It can be both quantitative and qualitative weights. We assess transparency in climate spending using two indicators. First, whether the country has disclosed its climate-related expenditure, and then we're a bit more explicit in our second indicator, where we look for disclosure of climate expenditures through the application of a climate budget tagging methodology. So how does ASCOR assess transparency in climate spending? First, we search for country budget documents, portals, or sustainability bond reports where they link those reports to budgetary practices. We accept only the disclosures that are climate specific. In the budgets, we tend to see that countries disclose environmental expenditures but don't break down those expenditures in terms of climate. Therefore, we cannot accept those types of budgets. To qualify as having a climate budget tagging methodology, the country must disclose a specific methodology, but also apply such methodology to its latest budget. We do not assess the amount of climate spent in countries. As we mentioned before, the methodologies to quantify those expenditures vary, and therefore it won't be comparable between the 70 countries assessed. As you can see on your screen, these are our 2024 results. We see that 47 out of 70 countries assessed have a basic level of transparency on their climate-related expenditure, where 16 countries out of 70 have disclosed a climate budget tagging methodology and applied it to its latest budget. As summary, this map will show you in green the countries that have adopted a climate budget tagging methodology, in orange the countries that have some sort of climate-related disclosure within their budgets or in other documents. And in red, you will find the countries that don't have any type of disclosure. Based on our results, we have identified two emerging practices. First, open budget portals are a common practice in order to enhance transparency and accountability. Peru's Transparencia Económica gives information on both mitigation and adaptation expenditures that cover between 2014 and 2022, whereas Finland's budget portal is updated every time the new budget is approved, and under the Sustainability Development tab, you could see the expenditure for carbon neutrality and green transition. Other countries, or more countries, are enhancing and adopting climate budget tagging methodologies. We see that, for example, Portugal decided to publish its methodology and apply it to forest sector, and is looking next year to disclose the result of such methodology in the remaining sectors. Some other countries have published their methodology, but the results of applying it are not yet public. Such countries are Costa Rica, Serbia, and Slovenia. That wraps up our overview of Area CF3. If you would like to learn more about ASCOR or explore other episodes of ASCOR Explainer video series, please visit our website. Thank you for watching.